With friends like these, who needs enemies? How President Donald Trump and Elon Musk are swindling their own supporters by slashing government programs that overwhelmingly benefit Republicans and the states they live in. Welcome to the No Spin Zone. Graphs Grievances starts right now. As Elon Musk continues at a rapid clip, dismantling federal programs and entire agencies across the government, it has become clear that those who will suffer most from his lawless and unconstitutional actions are Republican voters. Take, for example, Musk's effort to entirely shutter USAID, the international humanitarian and development arm of the United States government. While the 10,000-person agency does heroic work in the name of the American people overseas, preventing disease, providing maternal and neonatal care, and delivering food to the hungry, fiscal hawks and those who claim to care about the ballooning federal budget deficit have long cited USAID for cuts. This, despite the fact that its $40 billion budget is less than 1% of all federal spending. So why has USAID survived for nearly 65 years since its creation by President John F. Kennedy? Sure, its relatively small budget helps, along with the amazing humanitarian work it does. But the real reason USAID has survived for so long is because it directly benefits the American people. More specifically, USAID directly supports farmers in Republican states. And that is why many Republican lawmakers who pretend to care about debts and deficits have repeatedly ensured the funding of America's foreign aid program. In 2022, American farmers provided more than 4 billion pounds of U.S.-grown grains, soybeans, lentils, rice, and other commodity staples to USAID. For that, American farmers, the vast majority of whom live in Republican states, were paid almost $1 billion. President Donald Trump wants to permanently stop that gravy train to his supporters, already freezing all foreign aid and allowing Musk to close USAID and put nearly all of its staffers on administrative leave. Since this has all happened, numerous Democratic lawmakers whose constituents get very, if any, funds from USAID have protested vociferously. As for Republican lawmakers, they have remained almost universally silent, afraid to challenge Trump and Musk as they throw their voters under the bus. But the swindling by Trump and Musk hardly ends with USAID. As part of his quest to eliminate any funding linked to climate change initiatives, Trump has frozen billions of dollars in federal grants funded by former President Joe Biden's Inflation Reduction Act and Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. These grants providing support for everything from battery factories to electric school buses to wind farms and solar projects. Terrible, terrible things in Trump's mind, despite the fact that, once again, it is Republicans that have overwhelmingly benefited from these tax breaks provided by Biden's legislative successes. In the nearly 3 years since the Inflation Reduction Act was passed, private companies chasing the law's tax breaks have announced plans to spend $166 billion in the United States on clean energy programs, with 80% of that spending going to Republican congressional districts. Here is a great map from the New York Times showing the announced investments by congressional district. And you see all of those red dots? Those are Republican districts that Trump is trying to take tens of billions of dollars away from. He is actively punishing his own voters. Again, where are congressional Republicans? And why are they not objecting to this not only unconstitutional impoundment of funds Congress appropriated, but dictatorial action that will hit the wallets of Republican voters? Trump and Republicans apparently hate clean energy so much they are willing to financially harm their own supporters. Just yesterday, the political malpractice took a new turn when Musk's so-called Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, announced an immediate $900 million in cuts at the Education Department. Who needs education, after all? Well, apparently Republican states. Here is a map from USA Facts showing school funding from the federal government as a percentage of district revenue. The darker the blue, the greater the percentage of federal funding. So which states are getting the most support from the big bad federal government? The Republican strongholds of Mississippi, South Dakota, Arkansas, Montana, Alaska, and Kentucky. Trump wants to entirely end this support, which he considers waste, and curtail the public education of children in overwhelmingly Republican-dominated states. And perhaps you are noticing a theme here. Federal dollars overwhelmingly go to the Republican states, and that is because they are poorer than blue states. But in addition to that, Trump does not seem to care about trying to swindle federal aid from states that voted for him. Why might that be the case? Sure, he's in his second term as president and therefore can't constitutionally run again, but perhaps something more sinister is going on here. Where are the Republican lawmakers? Why are they letting Trump and Musk undermine their own voters? Why aren't they fighting for their constituents? Thank you for watching Graph's Grievances. Let me know what you think. Please like, subscribe, share, and join me tomorrow for more.